He's not a guest on this channel. He's been here many times, of course. But it's great what he's doing in Bangladesh. And I will go on to introduce Dr. Aqil Jaigirdar, who, of course, is the founder for Ma. And he is a doctor, he's a practicing doctor, and he does so much amazing work. And I will just go straight on to him because I know I'm going to talk too much because that's what I love doing. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So, of course, I've got so much to say. How's 2025 been for you so far? It's been 1 week in.
Yeah, it's been a bit crazy. I think 2024 was definitely an inflection point with the work we're doing, and there were so many changes going on. Especially with the recent changes in Bangladesh and around the world and everything. So it has been a hectic year and looking forward to 2025 and what it brings.
Inshallah, inshallah. I will touch upon 2024. I mean, we're only 1 week in and there's so much to reflect on, right?
Yeah.
I think for me first, you are a doctor, of course, and I understand you founded Ma, which is a maternal charity, maternal care charity. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. I'm a practicing doctor, trained to be a GP, but my mission is to revolutionize global maternal health. I've been working in this field for the last 10 years. Essentially, the reason I started this charity, you might be a bit surprised why, as a brown-bearded man working in maternal health, but it's a much needed topic. And I was a second-year medical student. I was in a hospital in Bangladesh, and unfortunately, at the end of observing an emergency C-section, I saw a baby boy pass away. I saw a mother bleed to death. And I saw a dad crying because he just found out his family has been torn apart. And whilst all this was happening, there was another heavily pregnant mother who was conscious, and she witnessed every second of that procedure, and she went through the same procedure a couple of minutes later. What struck me the most was how indifferent she looked to the cause, as if this was the norm. And being very junior in my medical studies, I knew there were many red flags that needed something to be done about. And I came out and I said, what can I do? Well, I don't have a degree, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a global health expert, but what I can do is share my story. And it's been 10 years on from that point. We've opened up multiple clinics across Bangladesh and now in 4 other countries. I manage a team of over 250 people around the world.
That's wild, that's a lot of people.
There's student support from 60 universities. Students alone have raised over £1 million for Ma.
Wow.
And we have been providing or offering our care to 500,000 women, free maternal care completely.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, for me, what's more amazing is that you were a second-year medical student. So, I mean, how did you sort of find those, the network or the funds and so on? Like, how did you manage to do that, being a second-year student?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think how it starts off is you connect with your peers.
Yes.
And I had a very good friends group, and I went and I shared my story. And they said, okay, Aqil, if this is the truth, we want to see a part of this. And I said, okay, fine. So what I did before saying I'm going to take you to Bangladesh is I went back to Bangladesh and I met with students over there as well, in parks, in cafes, in lecture rooms. And I found out a lot of the medical students weren't aware how dire the situation is in the rural areas.
Right.
And they want to do something about it. So I had very eager students in Bangladesh and I had eager students in the UK. And I thought, okay, how do I mix or how do I bridge two together? And I said, well, I'm going to take UK students to Bangladesh. And I've been doing this every single year so far, apart from COVID years, of course. And I've taken over 100 people, 100 students to Bangladesh. It's a 2 weeks accelerator program, I call it, a global health leadership program, where they get to see the maternal health status in Bangladesh. They talk to key stakeholders, and they work with Ma on the ground with the Bangladesh team to provide this much needed care. And I like to say this is in voluntarism because the work that we provide, I made sure that it is 100% grassroots. So I have teams in Bangladesh, students, doctors, all the way up, who are providing this care. So if anything, the UK team come in, they tag with the Bangladesh team, and they see the work that happens on the ground every single day. And it is phenomenal because these individuals then come back and they have a different fire. They either go in very high positions in the charity or they go and start their own stuff up. And it's lovely to see.
It's inspiring because you get that experience, you're on the field and you're seeing different things, and I think it's those life experiences that sort of shape the future experiences for all of us, really. And I think for me what's really interesting as well, having looked at your profile, I think I'm really interested in finding out how you sort of handle both being a founder of Ma, being on the field, as well as being a GP, like practicing to be a GP. So how do you do that? I
took many years out. I have a very unorthodox route in medicine. I've taken a few years out because I believe in the end mission. My job is not to have a job or a title at the end of it. My mission is to revolutionize global maternal health. And I thought the way to do that is by taking a year out and going on the ground and working with the people. And doing so, I've actually learned a lot about myself, about the climate, and how innovation can be inputted in these very delicate settings to create vast changes. And my life ethos is about mass effect. What can we do in a very sustainable way to create mass change? And doing so, coming back to GP practice was very difficult, I'll be honest. I started last year again after taking 3 years out, imagine
Wow.
that. So a lot of my friends are much more senior than me, and those who were my medical students are now like my colleagues. So it is a very different generation, a very different change.
Yeah.
However, I wouldn't change it for the world.
No, of course. I mean, you've got 10 years experience with Ma, so I mean, if you have to compare it, you're still doing amazing, alhamdulillah. So at the end of 2024, I understand you attended a very important event in the US, I understand. So can you tell me a little bit about that event that you attended?
Yeah, I was invited by President Clinton's team for the Clinton Global Initiative. Met some really cool individuals from Bill Gates, Prince Harry was there, a lot of individuals around there who you could just network and you can understand. But one thing while sitting there and meeting these individuals, I thought was, why can't I do what they're doing? And I think it's that confidence that this generation especially are aspiring to, and not just receiving, they're dominating in. And coming back to the UK, there is a massive enthusiasm gap, I would say personally, between America and the UK, but it's changing slowly, where innovation is now very sought after, right? And the reason why I was invited is because I've started another company called Gravida, which essentially uses AI to predict high-risk pregnancies within the first trimester.
Right.
So imagine a mother is going to have a bleed at the end of her 9 months pregnancy,
Yes.
which is the second biggest cause of maternal death. I'm trying to predict that within the first month. So you have 8 months of preventative medicine.
Wow.
The way I'm trying to predict it is using AI. So to do that, we're working with BSMMU, we're working with Bangladesh government with the data side of things. We have a UK team, and then the US heard about it and they were like, we want to be able to support this. So they invited me over there. So there's some great conversations happening. But one thing I would mention is the opportunity is not to create these big flamboyant companies. I tell my team this every single day, or every moment I get. I think they're sick and tired of hearing it. Our goal isn't to create Ma as the biggest charity in the world. Our goal isn't to create Gravida as the founding tech company for maternal health. It's for us not to exist at all. And it's paradoxical when you think about it, but I don't want Ma to exist. I don't want Gravida to exist, because the idea of these charities existing means there's a problem. I want you to work so hard that this organization ceases to exist. We can sit back and look back in our time and say, do you remember these horrible statistics where 95% of maternal deaths happen in the developing world? Every 2 minutes a woman dies from pregnancy-related complications. But the sad and shocking news is 90% of these deaths are completely preventable. I want to sit down one day, hopefully in the future, with yourself in the Saturday show and say,
Inshallah.
do you remember these statistics? They don't exist anymore. But that's the goal.
I mean, now I'm taken aback now. I don't know what to say. I think mothers, or families rather, I know my mother was in a situation where something like that would have prevented a lot happening maybe at the time. So I think that will really help, of course, the maternal sort of health field. And of course, just mothers, or just generally knowing that we're a bit more safer when women are pregnant, really. But looking forward, of course, to 2025, because you're going to, of course, launch really soon, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's it looking like for AI in general, like just in healthcare?
It's a good question again. So AI has been, my theory is increasing the health gap between the rich and poor.
Okay.
And it's a controversial thought, but the reason being is because the infrastructure for AI are dominated in urban, rich Western countries. And so AI is being poured into there.
Right.
Whereas the resource limited settings do not have the infrastructure for AI, so they're lagging behind. So what you're essentially doing is creating a bigger and bigger health gap.
Yeah.
So and if anything, there is a massive white space for health innovation in resource limited settings. Now, if you can create that infrastructure in those areas, you can do some great mass effect. And that's the idea, to do AI in resource limited settings.
Okay, inshallah. That sounds amazing. And finally, another question for you would be, what other than, of course, the work side of things, or just not even work, just a passion that you have, what else are you looking forward to in 2025?
That's a good question.
Putting you on the spot, haven't I?
Yeah, I'm subtracting to amplify.
What do you mean?
So this is the advice. So through MAR, because we have so many different generations in it, we have those from like the teens, then we have 20 to 30, 30 to 40s, and you have so on and so forth. And I say through those who are at the age of teens, like 16 plus, focus on your grades. Focus on your grades because it creates a habit to perform the best, to get the best grades, and it sets an ethos that hard work leads to success in terms of grades. Then 20 to 30, what your mentality should be is, what problem in the world should I solve? And to do that, I would advise every young individual to travel. And I'm not talking about the Instagram, TikTok, in front of a person and taking photos. Yeah, I'm saying travel and understand what are the problems on the ground.
Yes.
And if you can, before the age of 30, understand what is the problem I want to solve in the world, you're ahead of most of the people in the game. Yeah. And my problem is there is a massive issue in maternal health, and that's where my life work is going to be devoted towards. And then from 30 to 40, you go tunnel vision with that problem so that you only see that problem and you only try to fix that problem. So that's what I mean, subtract to amplify. So now that I know what my problem is, or what the world problem I want to solve is, I'm very conscious about what initiatives I'm taking on board, because would that distract me from my main vision? So my 2025 is subtract to amplify. So you go from distractions to tractions to actions.
I like that. I really like that. Inshallah, wishing you all the best for 2025. Thank you so much for being on the show today.